गुड आफ्टरनून, कैसे हैं आप लोग बच्चों? वंस अगेन वेलकम। वेल, हम डिस्कस कर रहे थे शॉक के रिलेटेड कुछ चीज़ें और कुछ स्लाइड्स हमने डिस्कस कर ली थी। रिमेनिंग इंशाल्लाह इस क्लास में डिस्कस करते हैं। ठीक है, बाकी लोगों को बोल दें काइंडली समर ऑनलाइन हो जाएं। बेटा जल्दी से बोलिएगा उनको, ग्रुप में मैसेज कर दें उनके। ओके, वेल, थैंक यू, वेलकम। Very good afternoon, Indra, Jennifer as well. Also, you will be fine. Okay, welcome once again, Rohit. Thank you, beta. वालेकुम अस्सलाम, आ रही है बेटा? वालेकुम अस्सलाम राबिया, hope so will be fine. So we will continue, है ना? वेल, तो शॉक के कंपनसेटरी मैकेनिज्म्स के बारे में आपको क्या पता है? कंपनसेटरी मैकेनिज्म्स कैसे कंपनसेशन करते हैं? अच्छा, ओके, वेल, आप ये बताएं कि इनको पता कैसे चलता है कि शॉक हो गया है, बॉडी के अंदर हाइपोपर्फियन या hypoxia है, कैसे डिटेक्ट करेंगे? What do you say? Is there any detective mechanism, or there are some parameters or some systems that can trigger कि यहाँ पे मसला हो रहा है? What you say? What you think? Okay, if the system are present, at least Adnil is the name of that system. Okay, do you think कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, हाइड्रोजन आयन कंसंट्रेशन, ऑक्सीजन कैसे मॉनिटर होती है बॉडी के अंदर? वालेकुम अस्सलाम मुनीबा बेटा। कैसे मॉनिटर होते हैं इनका? आपको पता है ब्लड वेसल का डायमीटर मॉनिटर हो रहा होता है। ये सारा काम कैसे होता है? कौन से सिस्टम्स हैं जो मेंटेन करके मॉनिटर करके इनको चेंजेस को बता रहे होते हैं? compensatory mechanisms. वालेकुम अस्सलाम बेटा इफ़्ज़ा ज़फ़रवा. ओके सिंपैथेटिक सिस्टम सारा वेल. इसके अलावा बेटा सिर्फ सिंपैथेटिक सिस्टम, हमने कोई कीमो रिसेप्टर बैरो रिसेप्टर के बारे में डिस्कस किया था. आई थिंक यू फॉरगेट ना. तो कोई कीमो रिसेप्टर्स होते हैं, कोई बैरो रिसेप्टर्स होते हैं, कोई रिसेप्टर रिफ्लेक्स के बारे में डिस्कस किया थे. डू यू रिमेंबर? सिंपैथेटिक सिस्टम में वेल बैरो रिसेप्टर और कीमो रिसेप्टर्स क्या करते हैं? डू यू रिमेंबर? क्या करते हैं बेटा? बैरो रिसेप्टर्स क्या करते हैं और कीमो रिसेप्टर्स क्या करते हैं? ओके याद आया. वेल वेरी गुड जीनियस. क्या आप लोगों को याद आ गया? बैरो रिसेप्टर्स कौन सी केमिकल चेंजेस मॉनिटर करते हैं? And what's about baroreceptors? Baroreceptors क्या करते हैं? Okay, well, definitely yes. Baroreceptors जो होते हैं ये प्रेशर सेंसिटिव नर्व एंडिंग्स होती हैं. Well, right. ठीक है. बीपी को कंट्रोल करते हैं, baroreceptor नो डाउट कंट्रोल करते हैं. Instead of that, what's about chemoreceptors? Chemoreceptors क्या करते हैं? ओके वेल इनको कैसे पता चलेगा कि कीमोरिसेप्टर या बैरो रिसेप्टर्स को कि भाई बॉडी के अंदर चेंजेस आ रही हैं, ब्लड प्रेशर के अंदर चेंजेस आ रही हैं? कीमोरिसेप्टर CO2, O2, OPPH या हाइड्रोजन आयन कंसंट्रेशन. ठीक है जेनिफर. ऑक्सीजन, हाइड्रोजन आयन कंसंट्रेशन, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, नो डाउट. लेकिन इनको कैसे पता चलेगा कि भाई देयर इज abnormal accumulation of carbon dioxide or there is a alteration of the level of carbon dioxide या hydrogen ion concentration या oxygen concentration? What do you say? What do you think? Okay, listen. Once CVC तक मैसेज जाएगा. वेल वेरी गुड. ठीक है CVC कार्डियोवैस्कुलर सेंटर. ओके ठीक है CVC तक मैसेज पहुंच गया, उसने कार्डियक आउटपुट को मेंटेन करवा दिया. ठीक है. ओके लिसन. पहली चीज तो है once there is a hypoperfusion, once there is a hypotension, once there is a decreased cardiac output, once there is decreased venous return, ultimately उसके रिजल्ट में क्या होगा? stroke volume और cardiac output will be reduced, right? And at the end blood pressure will be reduced. Once the left ventricle of the heart contracts, it ejects blood to maintain cardiac output as well as to maintain blood pressure. And the baroreceptors are present in the arc of aorta, in the carotid sinuses. Once the pressure sensitive nerve endings measures that there is a decrease in the pressure, ultimately they will convey the message to the CVC, cardiovascular system, cardiovascular center. And once the message is conveyed to cardiovascular centers, it promotes our heart to increase the rate of conduction. And other thing is that sympathetic stimulation will be initiated. Both heart rate as well as vasoconstriction occurs. Once the vasoconstriction occurs, ultimately venous return will be normalized. Once the venous return will be normalized, cardiac output, stroke volume, and the blood pressure will be normalized, and the hypoperfusion will be reversed. One thing is that. Other thing, I have already tell you, okay, the amount of carbon dioxide is consistently reducing. when there is a constant production of carbon dioxide, when there is a hypoperfusion, when there is a hypotension, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड का लेवल बढ़ेगा, हाइड्रोजन आयन कम होंगे, that are monitored by chemoreceptors, central chemoreceptors and peripheral chemoreceptors. Both will monitor, and ultimately, when there is an abnormal condition, either in accumulation of carbon dioxide, either accumulation of hydrogen ion concentration, either decrease in pH or increase in pH, either alkalosis is there, acidosis is there, it is monitored by chemoreceptors. And once the chemoreceptors are triggered, once the chemoreceptors are initiated or stimulated, they will start the cascades to maintain the hydrogen ion concentration, to normalize the carbon dioxide. Okay, so chemoreceptors and baroreceptors are very important. Third one, moving towards the nervous system, what will happen once there is a decreased cardiac output, and you know how much cardiac output is required to remove the metabolic waste products from the kidney. It's about 20 to 25% of cardiac output is necessary for renal blood flow. And once there is a decreased cardiac output, ultimately, our system will be instead of that, ADH will be released. And I have already told you that the concentration of sodium, the level of sodium is monitored by mucoladens. Sodium content is monitored by mucoladens. When there is a condition of hypovolemia, when there is a condition of hypotension, when there is a condition of hypoperfusion, ultimately sodium and water level. We can say that the volume of the blood is reduced. Once the volume of the blood is reduced, ultimately hypotension is there, either hyponatremia is there, hypovolemia is there. These are the triggers that initiate the RAS system, that trigger the RAS system, that stimulate the RAS system, and at the end, sodium and water are detected. Sodium retention occurs, waters are restored, and potassiums are eliminated. And once there is a dehydration or hypovolemia, ultimately posterior pituitary are triggered, and they will release the ADH, and ADH blocks the aquaporins. Once the aquaporins are blocked, means there is a decreased urine output, and again water is retained. Water retention occurs. So we can normalize the level of water. We can reverse the hypovolemia. We can reverse the hypotension. We can reverse the hypoperfusion to maintain normal oxygen and nutrients for the survival of the cells, for normal function of the cells, to maintain homeostasis. These are the conditions in which the compensatory mechanisms can compensate these processes. Now, see this slide. What we have discussed is present on that slide. Got it? Okay, got it. Sarah, you have any question? You can ask. Okay, now we are going towards moving toward the stages of the shock. First stage is compensated or non-progressive. Second one is progressive or impaired occupancy. Third one is irreversible or decompensated. Okay, first one is compensated or non-progressive. What do you think the meaning of compensated and non-progressive? What will happen in that stage? In this stage, three indicators are normalized. First one is circulatory volume. Second one is blood pressure. And third one is cardiac output. And these are compensated by compensatory mechanisms. These are normalized by compensatory mechanisms. Okay, first vasoconstriction occurs, increased heart rate occurs, and increased contractility of heart contribute to maintaining adequate cardiac output. What are the indicators that increase the cardiac output? Do you know? कौन सी ऐसी चीज़ें हैं, कौन से ऐसे इंडिकेटर्स हैं जो आपके कार्डियक आउटपुट को बढ़ाते हैं? Anybody know? Okay. Well, the results from stimulation of sympathetic nervous system and a subsequent release of catecholamines, epinephrine and norepinephrine. Okay, venous return is one thing, stroke volume is second thing. Well, अगर वेसोकंस्ट्रिक्शन बॉडी के अंदर हो जाए तो उसका इफेक्ट क्या होगा? What you say, what do you think? कि अगर बॉडी के अंदर वेसोकंस्ट्रिक्शन हो गई है तो उसका इफेक्ट क्या होगा बॉडी के ऊपर? And once there is a reduction in the blood pressure, ultimately there is a vasoconstriction. So you can say कि अगर वेसोकंस्ट्रिक्शन होगी तो ये कार्डियक आउटपुट को बढ़ाती है, वेनस रिटर्न को बढ़ाती है. इसलिए जब हाइपोटेंशन की कंडीशन होती है तो बॉडी के अंदर वेसोकंस्ट्रिक्शन हो जाती है. सेकेंडली देन देयर इज ए फाइट एंड फ्लाइट. आपकी किसी से लड़ाई हुई है, आपका हार्ट रेट चेक कीजिएगा, उस टाइम मोर देन 100 बीट्स पर मिनट के हिसाब से बीट कर रहा होगा. देयर इज ए वेसोकंस्ट्रिक्शन. तो ये सर्टेन कंडीशंस हैं. व्हेन देयर इज ए क्राइसिस इन आवर बॉडी, they are triggered, they are activated to maintain the blood pressure, to maintain the cardiac output. Okay, so stage 1 के अंदर we have mentioned that three things are monitored, three things are normalized. One is circulatory volume, second one is blood pressure, and third one is cardiac output. And these three indicators are interrelated. How? When the circulatory volume is normalized, venous return is normalized, cardiac output is normalized, stroke volume is normalized, blood pressure is normalized. Once the circulatory volume is not normalized, ultimately blood pressure is not normalized. Do you think कि ऐसे ही होता है? Definitely yes. अब सर्कुलेटरी वॉल्यूम एक सिस्टम से हो रहा होता है मेंटेन, सेकेंड एडीएच मेंटेन कर रहा होता है. इंस्टेड ऑफ दैट थ्रस्ट मैकेनिज्म इज एक्टिवेटेड. आपको प्यास लग रही होती है. तीसरी कंडीशन ये फर्स्ट स्टेज के अंदर जो बॉडी खुद ब खुद मेंटेन कर रही होती है. सेकेंड स्टेज के अंदर सर्कुलेटरी वॉल्यूम फ्लूइड लगाया जा रहा होता है, either in the form of normal saline, either in the form of lactated drinker या drinker lactated solutions are administered to that patient. Okay, got it? Well, patient displays often described fight or flight response. The body sheds blood from organs such as skin, kidney, and GIT to brain, heart, and lungs to ensure adequate blood supply to these vital organs. ये हमने कंपनसेटरी मैकेनिज्म्स के अंदर भी डिस्कस किया है. बॉडी क्या करती है? डाइवर्ट्स कर देती है ब्लड फ्रॉम स्किन, किडनी एंड GIT to brain, heart and lungs to ensure adequate blood supply. ताकि ये वाइटल ऑर्गन की इंजरी ना हो, इन्फेक्शन ना हो. Instead of that, compensatory mechanism का सिस्टम ADH, ANP. ANP उस कंडीशन में एक्टिवेट होगा जब ज़्यादा ब्लड प्रेशर होता है. Once there is a reduction in the blood pressure, ultimately low ANP is released from the cardiomyocytes. Got it? Baroreceptors we have already discussed. The carotid sinuses and carotid arch activate the sympathetic nervous system, which increase vasomotor tone, heart rate, and stroke volume, which results in increase of cardiac output. We have already discussed about the baroreceptors and chemoreceptors, right? And once there is a reduction or suppression of vasomotor center, results in release of norepinephrine, and its actions are included as it acts as a positive chronotropic agent. Positive chronotropic actions increase conduction through heavy loads, and third one is positive inotropic actions that increase the contractility. Right? Okay. Third one is RAS system activated, and ultimately the end product of RAS system is aldosterone. When the angiotensin 1 is converted into angiotensin 2 in the presence of ECE, and angiotensin 2 is a potent vasoconstrictor. We did multiple times in the physiology as well. Okay, angiotensin 2 is a potent vasoconstrictor. First, subfornical area in the sinus stimulate and induce thrust. And second one is act on the smooth muscle of veins and arterioles and constrict them. Definitely, that's why it is called as potent vasoconstrictor, right? And third one is it will act on the adrenal cortex and release the aldosterone. And what is the function of aldosterone? It will causes retention of sodium and water. And once the sodium and water retention occurs, ultimately fluid volume is maintained. Hypovolemia is reversed. Got it? See the diagram that is taken from the आई थिंक ये जो डायग्राम है ये एमएसएन की जो बुक है क्रोनर एंड सिद्धार्थ की इससे लिए देखिएगा इसमें आपको क्या समझ में आएगा। इसमें एक मिस्टेक है, नो वन इज गोइंग टू करेक्ट इट। अगर किसी को समझ आ रही है तो वो पर्सन इसको करेक्ट कर लेगा, अगर नहीं आई तो अल्टीमेटली उसको करेगा। Got it? बेटा ये नेगेटिव फीडबैक मैकेनिज्म भी इसको कह सकते हैं, या once there is a decreased tissue protein, yeah, hypoxia, ultimately that system is activated, as that cascade is started. Do you think इसके अंदर कोई एरर कहीं पे मिस्टेक है इस डायग्राम के अंदर? अगर है वो क्या है? लेट्स सी किसको समझ आई है। Okay. फर्स्ट इज इनिशियल इंसर्ट लीडिंग टू शॉक स्टेट, जिसके अंदर टिश्यू परफ्यूम कम होगी, ऑक्सीजनेशन कम होगी। उसके रिजल्ट में एक्टिवेशन ऑफ होम्योस्टैटिक रिस्पांस, होम्योस्टेसिस होना शुरू हो जाएगी और कंपनसेटरी मैकेनिज्म एक्टिवेट हो जाएंगे। के सारा इसके अंदर एक मिस्टेक है, so I'm able to identify that mistake and no one identified that bladder well. Compensatory mechanisms जिसके अंदर sympathetic response इंक्रीज होता है, उसके रिजल्ट में हार्ट रेट इंक्रीज होता है, ब्लड प्रेशर इंक्रीज होता है, कार्डियक कंट्रैक्टिलिटी इंक्रीज होती है, लीड टू इंक्रीज कार्डियक आउटपुट और अल्टीमेटली ब्लड प्रेशर नॉर्मलाइज हो जाता है। RAS system activate होता है और RAS system will lead to reabsorption of sodium and water, which lead to increase preload and decrease urine output. Definitely sodium and water are retained and that will lead to decreased cardiac output. Definitely yes. Okay, moving towards right side. Once there is a homeostatic response, when there is a decreased oxygenation, decreased tissue perfusion, ultimately it will increase the heart rate. And respiratory rate. Once there is a decreased respiratory rate, ultimately decreased oxygen saturation and delivery occurs. But there is a increased respiratory rate, arrow is opposite. Respiratory rate increase होगा, जिस वजह से oxygen saturation and delivery will be increased. Got it? डेफिनेटली सारा बेटा मैंने आइडेंटिफाई करके आपको दिया है। ओके, fourth one is release of catecholamines like epinephrine or norepinephrine release again cortisol to provide glucose for metabolism। और हमने डिस्कस किया था कि once there is a hypoperfusion, hypoxia, there is a anaerobic metabolism and anaerobic respiration। अब anaerobic metabolism होगा तो meaning to say we need a glucose and ultimately there is a release of cortisol, glucocorticoid। Once the glucocorticoid is released, meaning it will maintain the level of glucose for metabolism. And once these homeostatic responses are met, restoration of tissue perfusion and oxygenation occurs. Right? Well, so thank you, Zainab. Thank you, Swara. Now you have identified well, like respiratory rate increases. Got it? What will be medical management of stage 1? Medical treatment is directed towards, first of all, identify the cause of shock। cause क्या है? Like hypovolemia की cause क्या हो सकती है? Absolute hypovolemia है, relative hypovolemia है, nausea vomiting है, diarrhea dysentery है, direct कोई इंजरी हुई है, ब्लड इंटरनली ब्लीड हो रहा है, एक्सटर्नली ब्लीड हो रहा है, तो फर्स्ट यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई द कॉज ऑफ शॉक एंड आल्सो आइडेंटिफाई द टाइप ऑफ शॉक। न्यूरोजेनिक है, हाइपोवोलेमिक है, कार्डियोजेनिक है, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटिव है, ऑब्स्ट्रक्टेड है, व्हाटएवर द टाइप of shock is there, ultimately according to that type medical management will be directed। Okay, second one is correcting the underlying disorder। Once you identify the cause of shock, meaning to say you have to correct that disorders, and no specific measures such as fluid replacement and medication therapy can be initiated to maintain an adequate blood pressure and tissue perfusion without identification of cause of the shock, or without knowing the cause of the shock. You can't be able to replace the fluid and medications just to maintain the blood pressure and tissue perfusion। Suppose Once there is a septic shock, what will happen in that shock? Like the edema is damaged due to endotoxin and exotoxins. Vascular permeability is increased. Fluid is moving into the interstitial space when you are administering fluid in bolus form. What will happen? The fluid that you are administering will accumulate in the interstitial space. Edema will worsen, but the blood pressure and cardiac output will not be normalized. That's why you have to identify the cause as well as type of the shock. Got it? Okay. Moving towards stage 2, that is progressive or impaired tissue function. I will share my these lectures in the WhatsApp group. You have to read that, and tomorrow we will complete that. Second stage, progressive or impaired tissue function. Compensatory mechanisms begin to fail. What are the compensatory mechanisms? Like heart, kidney, instead of that, respiratory system, lungs, liver, autonomic nervous system. Compensatory mechanisms begin to fail. Metabolic and circulatory derangement becomes more pronounced, and inflammatory and immune response may become compromised and results in lactic acidosis, cell necrosis, and shock lung. Ultimately, what will happen? Once the compensatory mechanisms are going to fail, lactic acidosis occurs. There is no release of cortisol. There is the presence of anaerobic metabolism and anaerobic respiration. Cell injury occurs, necrosis occurs, cell death occurs, and ultimately, shock lung will occur. And this is the progressive stage of the shock. Like decreased cardiac output occurs, condition of hypoperfusion is there, and cells switch from aerobic to anaerobic metabolism. When decreased tissue perfusion is there, means no adequate nutrients are there to maintain the aerobic metabolism like glucose. Once there is an anaerobic metabolism, ultimately that will lead to pyruvic acid, and pyruvic acid will lead to lactic acid production, lactic acid formation, and lactic acid causes metabolic acidosis. Right? For metabolic acidosis will lead to cell function cease and cell swelling occurs. Membrane becomes more permeable because increases electrolytes and fluid seeps in and out of the cell. That's why sodium and potassium pumps are impaired, because the sodium and potassium pumps are run through ATPase sodium potassium ATPase pump, and there is a reduction of glucose. Metabolic acidosis occurs, cell swelling occurs, integrity of membrane is impaired. Ultimately, sodium-potassium pump are impaired, mitochondrial damage will occur, and cell death. Ultimately, we have discussed in the cell injury as well. What will happen in the cell injury? The same thing occurs in the progressive stage of shock. Got it? Do you have any query? Okay. What are the clinical manifestations of stage 2? We said that in the stage 2, compensatory mechanisms began to fail. propicenaptine. Once the compensatory mechanisms began to fail, this shows certain clinical signs or symptoms like respiratory effect. Respirations are rapid and shallow. Ultimately, crackles are heard over the lung field when there is a lung shock. Accumulation of fluid occurs. ARDS occurs. Acute respiratory distress syndrome. What will happen with the cardiovascular center, cardiovascular system? Dyslipidemia and ischemia is there. Tachycardia is there. Even more than 150 beats per minute is noted. Chest pain, vapors, low pressures, low blood pressures. And if we talk about the neurological effects, ultimately what will happen? Changes in the behavioral agitation and confusion. Subsequently, lethargy increases and the patient begin to lose consciousness, dizziness, lightheadedness, and faintness. The renal effects, acute renal failure will occur. That's why increased blood urea nitrogen and creatinine will be noted. Low urine output, acid-base and electrolyte imbalance will occur because mainly the electrolyte or acid-base balance are maintained by the renal system, by the proteins, by the respiratory system. Once the systems begin to fail, these signs or symptoms will occur. GIT manifestations like stress ulcer in the stomach, putting the patient at risk for GI bleed. Hematological effect, DIC will occur. Hypnosis, TK will occur. Small patches are seen on the skin of the patient. If we talk about generally, there is agitation, restlessness, anxiety, bluish nail and finger nails and lips, dizziness, lightheadedness, or faintness, pale, cool, clammy skin, profuse sweating, and loose skin will be seen in their patients who are suffering from stage 2. Okay, what will the medical management in the stage 2? Depend on the type of shock again, pain. First, you have to identify the cause and type of the shock. The shock is like hypokalemia and you are treating cardiogenic shock. That will worsen the condition of the patient and supporting the respiratory system definitely. Optimizing the intravascular volume, maintain the intravascular volume, pumping action of or like nootropic agents are given. Enteral nutrition supports aggressive hypoglycemia control with IV insulin, antacids that will destroy the secreted acid are known as antacids. Histamines are H2 receptor blockers like famotidine, nizatidine, ranitidine. These are H2 receptor blockers or histamine 2 या antihistamine or antipeptic agents to reduce the risk of chain reaction and bleeding like proton pump inhibitors like omeprazole, pantoprazole, lansoprazole, esomeprazole. These are proton pump inhibitors are known as PPIs. The patient should not be warmed too quickly and warming blankets should not be applied because they can cause vasodilation and subsequent drop in BP. It's very important. Okay, what will the management preventing complications, promoting rest and comfort or supporting family members? Trachea, irreversible or refractory. In the final irreversible stage, cellular and tissue injury are so severe that the patient life is not sustainable even if metabolic, circulatory and inflammatory regimens are affected. In the third stage, the condition is irreversible. At this point, full-blown multi-system organ dysfunction syndrome modes may become evident. Not being normalized, then ultimately you have to know that the patient is in a Morse condition, multi-system organ dysfunction syndrome. That's why you have to prevent that complications, and that's the clinical findings that are also taken from the Brunner and Siddhartha PMSN. Like blood pressure is normal in the compensated stage, progressively systolic 80 to 90 millimeter of mercury, and irreversible. Requires pharmacological support. Okay, इसको कीजिएगा स्लाइड्स को कि नॉर्मल में क्या, कंपलसेटरी में क्या होता है, प्रोग्रेसिव स्टेज में क्या हो रहा होता है, और फिर रिवर्सिबल स्टेज के अंदर क्या हो रहा होता है. एंड दीज आर टाइप्स ऑफ शॉक. टाइप्स ऑफ शॉक को हम इंशाल्लाह कल डिस्कस कर लेते हैं. ठीक है, एक एपोवोलीमिया है, कार्डियोजेनिक है, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटिव है, ऑब्स्ट्रक्टिव है. ओके, बाकी इन स्लाइड्स को मैं शेयर कर देता हूँ. आप टेस्ट बेटा में बता देता हूँ, टेस्ट के बारे में बता देता हूँ. एक मिनट. ओके बच्चों, टेस्ट के बारे में बेटा बता देता हूँ. टेस्ट आप बता दें किस सिस्टम का देना है, किस चैप्टर का देना है. एंड नेक्स्ट फ्राइडे को कर लेती हैं, या फ्राइडे या थर्सडे. थर्सडे करना, फ्राइडे करना है, सब टू. हाँ, आवाज़ वापस आ गई है बेटा, आवाज़ वापस आ गई है. ओके सर, बेटा मैं बता दूंगा फ्राइडे. ठीक है, सेल नहीं, सेल किससे पहले वाला चैप्टर कर लेते हैं बेटा. बेटा आवाज़ वापस आ गई है, ग्रुप में बता देते हैं, फाइनल कर लीजिएगा आप अपने ग्रुप में डिस्कस करके मुझे बता दें किस चैप्टर का आपको मुझे टेस्ट देना है. राइट, हम उसी चैप्टर को कंसीडर कर लेंगे और मैं टेस्ट बना के अपडेट कर दूंगा थर्सडे या फ्राइडे. सेलिंग ओके, आप लोग आपस में अपने ग्रुप में डिस्कस करके मुझे फाइनल बता दीजिएगा किस चैप्टर का फाइनल टेस्ट करना है. ठीक है, ओके. अटेंडेंस तलहा ने मुझे फॉरवर्ड कर दी है, वो देख लेता हूँ कौन कौन प्रेजेंट है. ठीक है, और आज के लेक्चर में कोई क्वेरी है तो लेट मी नो. कुछ ओके मैं वापस आ गई हूँ। चलिए सी यू इंशाल्लाह इन नेक्स्ट क्लास टुमारो एट 11 AM है ना, if I'm not wrong. Bye bye. Have a blessed day. Okay, well, mate. Allah Hafiz. Bye bye.